Mike, should the Cowboys give Mike McCarthy a new extension, a big bag?
Well, we ask this question, I guess, every week now that we win a few games. And everybody starts feeling good. You know, they won 2 out of 3. They won 3 out of 4. They won 4 out of 5. But let's remember, winning a few games in a row was not the criteria in the genesis of this season. It was getting to the playoffs. So for whatever we're going to say he has done, and he's got the team playing well, even though the team is out, so the team is giving up great effort. All of that is true, and congratulations to that for Mike McCarthy. But we also got to say, you're done 3 weeks into the season. With 3 weeks left to go in the season, you're out of the playoffs. So I want us to be mindful, because we get emotional, and we shouldn't be making decisions in emotional times. And that's what I'm saying here.
We who?
Everybody. Everybody. You know, Jerry just won the game. So he comes up and said things like, got them guys thinking like they're not playing, they playing for the Super Bowl. No, that's emotion talking. That's not logic, because before the game, you heard they were out of the playoffs.
Right. That's it.
So they ain't playing like they're playing for the Super Bowl, because they're not even going to the playoffs. So that's just emotions talking. I'm just saying, at the end of the season, you got to evaluate everything. Not just this emotional moment that we've had in these few blocks here. You got to evaluate everything, and everything says we got to think about an extension.
See, Paul, I feel like if there's somebody else that's out there that's better,
right,
like a Deion Sanders.
That's what I was thinking.
Outside of that, you bring him back.
Right.
You just bring him back, give him a 2-year extension.
Michael calling for his head.
No.
But you got to also admit, though, Michael, if Deion is available and they offer Deion a job, okay, that's fine. But what Mike McCarthy has done for this team in the regular season has been pretty good. And then again, I'm talking about over the last 3 years. This year, kind of things fell apart, but you also got to admit the roster was somewhat flawed. It really was. I mean, and his starting quarterback gets hurt. So I don't mind them giving him, you know, I don't know, a 2-year type deal to see how it goes.
I think that works. Look, guys, he's 7-8, right? You got Philadelphia coming up. They probably lose that game, and then they'll be in a dogfight with the Washington Commanders. He could possibly end up 500, and if they end up 500, do you know that Mike McCarthy would have never had a losing record while coaching the Cowboys? That has to say something.
Yes.
That has to say something.
Yes.
And so I think it's deserving. Like you said, a 2-year deal, you know, I can live with that, especially if there's nobody on the market, if you know, nobody comes available that's to your liking. This is a difficult job to be a head coach under Jerry Jones. And I think Mike McCarthy has handled it very well. And so I think for the next couple years, say, hey, we'll give you a couple years, you know, extension. He's not had a losing record only in his first year. My bad, but in the last 4 years, going back to that. But I think he's well-deserving of at least a 2-year extension moving forward. Like you said, the roster is flawed. You had Dak missing all year. Michael Parsons missed time, and now you're somewhat getting healthy again, and you're winning games.
Now, his record...
I'm okay for harmony, you know, and I think that's very important in anything that you're building, harmony. So the Cowboys are trying to say, okay, Dak and Mike McCarthy are comfortable with one another. But listen, there are also times where you have to step in and say, we need to help him then make some changes and everything.
Yes.
This team is not as focused as it needs to be. And y'all want to blame all crazy things like Jerry got people coming by while they're eating lunch. Because we have
Will you stop saying y'all?
Well, we have these topics here which gives them an excuse when the reality is it should be we need a tighter ship. We need everything to be tight. We need more focus on the game of football. And that's the problem. Now, if you're going to start implementing somebody to come and help him put more focus, will help the players get more focus on football, and you're telling me I'm with it. But
self-evaluation.
But sometimes you just need something different.
That may be the case. Self-evaluation is extremely important in the offseason, as you know. They've gone through some things this year. You talked about discipline. You talked about staying in a hotel the night before the game versus being at home. All of those things could potentially change this offseason. all I'm saying to you, Michael, is the man did go 49-33. He's 1-3 in the postseason, which is not great, okay? He's won 2 division titles, okay? But there's coaches around this league that gets an opportunity to make some mistakes and then rebuild the thing back up to where it needs to be. Saquon Barkley's running wild in Philadelphia. He could be a Dallas Cowboy. Derrick Henry, we also seeing him when he's doing with the Ravens. He should have been a Cowboy. Those mistakes were made by who? Whoever. It could have been made by Jerry, a combination of Mike. It could have been a front office.
Right.
All of those things. You got to be serious when you're thinking about this. If it's Deion Sanders, you and I, we're going to jump up and down on the table. If you're not getting prime, who else are you getting?
Right. There are 2 parts to this. There's the technical part that I see on the football field, and that part you're mentioning with Deion is the motivational part. You know, it's, okay, the technical part. Can we make sure that we're in 3rd and 3 in a playoff game and that we're not 10 yards off of the guy? He just runs a quick hitch and get the first down. That's those technical things that on the football field that I want a coach to tighten up. We're going to talk about what Ben Johnson did later, taking a play from early in a game and making a play against that same team. Those are great coaching moments that you can talk about on the football field that I can point to and say, boy, that deserves to be a head coach. Or you can show me some great moments where he's motivated a guy to play so much better than he has. Now, when you show me those moments,
Michael,
then I can start getting back on board any of those moments. But you're not going to be able to show me those moments.
When you point to a guy off on 3rd and 10 yards off, on 3rd and 3, 10 yards off, that guy has now, he's a 10-5 football team sitting in Washington as a defensive coordinator who is now the head coach. That was his responsibility. That's not Mike McCarthy. He's not calling the defense. Even though he's the head coach, he's not calling the defense.
Right. Okay. But he's calling everything. He's setting the tone for things to be lacked.
And you don't think he can change his approach?
We're not focused as we need to be. So down here calls defense. But if I'm a DB, I don't need him to call the defense to know 3rd and 3, I should be up. You know, those are things, those are details that you focus in on when you focus in on the game. That's all I'm saying. We need details. We need, it's not just a talent thing. You guys were getting rid of Mike McCarthy early on.
You guys? What you mean? I had them exactly what they're going to be. What they're going to be, Paul? What's their record going to wind up being?
Probably like 8-8.
And I had them sitting at that 9 and 8 spot.
Right, you had them going by week 4. You had them 1 and 3 gone, then 2,
did I miss?
2 and 5.
Did I miss?
No, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, soon as I get on your boat, now you jump off the boat and go get on the boat to bring them back. I'm trying to figure this out. I got on your boat. I said, you know what? Maybe Key knew something. Let me get on his boat. And then I said, hey, where you go, Key? Now you over there talking about this the boat for bringing them back. We're going to bring them back. I want to know what the hell is going on around here.
Only reason why I'm saying that they should give him an extension because there's nothing else available.
Right.
This is early in the season. There could have been availability. There was conversations about Bill Belichick, who is now at UNC. There's conversations about potentially Deion Sanders, but that's quieted down over the last couple weeks, it seems like. And Mike McCarthy's name is bubbling again.
Mike Vrabel would be a pretty good coach.
I didn't say, but he'll have opportunities at other jobs. Does he want to coach the Dallas Cowboys? And on top of that, speaking of the Dallas Cowboys and coaching them, is it a bad look for Dak Prescott and what the Cowboys are doing right now, Michael?
Well, you know, listen, the Cowboys are running the football now, and they were not able to run the football against Dak. Right now, they're running the ball about another 7 rushing attempts. You got Rico Dow last couple of games. He had 112 yards, 131 yards, 149 yards. Dak Prescott didn't get that kind of assistance. So I put this still on the man that's calling these plays. The man that's calling these plays right here. You got to know how to coach and call the play with the Dak Prescott. Call this game with Dak Prescott. Maybe we win more games. Call this kind of game with Dak Prescott. So I'm not saying it's a bad look for Dak. Dak beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, a playoff team. The only playoff team that Cooper Rush beat was Tampa.
Well, I mean, Cooper Rush is 4-3 as a starter, and Dak Prescott is 3-5.
And you put Commanders in there. And he won Carolina and
but now they're getting healthy,
Giants.
Keith. Now
they also played a few. They also played a few teams that's like was clunking along outside of the Bucks, clunking along.
Yeah, you get Michael Parsons back. Some of the defenses coming back. I mean,
Washington Giants, Carolina was playing pretty good now. Carolina,
they're
Carolina had just took Philly to the end.
No, they've been playing good football since Bryce Young took over.
And Washington, we just talked about how great Washington is. So I'm giving Cooper Rush his flowers for what he's done.
Okay.
He's been doing a great job as one of the premier backups in this league.
But is it a bad look? Dak Prescott ain't going nowhere.
But this conversation is an insinuation towards is Cooper Rush a better starter?
No.
And that's
it's not.
way no.
No, it's
that's
not.
way no.
No, it is certainly a way no.
Right.
My question to that is, though, for you, does it look bad to the eyeballs of the people out there that's looking at 3 and 5 and 4 and 3 passing touchdowns? One got 10, one got 11 interceptions. Dak Prescott's had 8. Cooper Rush has only got 2 so far. That's the only thing I'm asking.
This is a testament of
I'm telling you.
the coaching job that Mike McCarthy is doing. He's motivating them. Because think about this. You lose your star player, your star quarterback. You lose your star defensive player. Y'all can just really mail it in. You can mail it in. You literally could just say, oh, you know what, this year is over. We can start making vacation plans. But the last 3-4 weeks, I'm watching Dallas. They're playing hard. They won 4 out of 5.
They are playing hard.
That means they're responding to the coaching.
I got to give them credit for that.
They're responding to coaching.
They're
responding. The star players come out. What did Dak say about Mike McCarthy? I enjoy what he's done for my career. Same with Michael Parsons. Same with CeeDee Lamb. So when you get the endorsements of your star players and the team is not really expected to go nowhere and you're responding by winning these games this late in the year, that says something. It says a lot.
I think when you look at it, you talked about they're running the football much better. They had 20 attempts for 31 yards last night. That ain't running the football better.
Right.
Let's not.
But we're talking about over this span.
I understand.
We're talking about over this span of having Cooper Rush.
That's like 1.7 yards a carry or something like that.
But Cooper Rush, well, you know, Rico Dowell. I just told you what kind of yards he's had.
I understand, but when you start to think about the way that the Cowboys are responding now, both with Dak Prescott on the sideline and Mike McCarthy coaching them, you got to believe that there's something there that this coach can get out of this team next year. There's something there, though, Michael. There's got to be.
The personnel has to get better, though. They have to.
Right. And I don't mind him throwing the ball.
Because everybody,
when you had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
Let's go find us a receiver to pair up with CeeDee Lamb. Let's go find us another running back, a much better running back. Let's get us another corner. Because Gilmore, everybody that departed in the offseason, from my eyeball test, they're all playing pretty good with their new teams. The ones that are actually on the field are actually playing pretty good.
Right. I said, let's go get that receiver. And I don't even keep Rico Dowell if he's running like this right here. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I'm with you in that standpoint. Even, and that's the only reason I can say, I'll say, oh, maybe Mike McCarthy, but I'm saying, even if Mike McCarthy goes and you get me a more disciplinary guy right here, I still want to take that route offensively. I still want to take the route. If you bring in a Mike Vrabel, who's going to give me more discipline and structure within the whole team, I still believe go get a receiver and you have something.
I wouldn't mind Vrabel. That's like coming off a Belichick tree, so to speak.
Right. I just want the structure. I want the structure. I just want that structure. And they're going to.
But it doesn't sound like that he's going to go do that. It sounds like he's going to give him an extension.
Then I'm talking about it here so they can hear ye me. And go and get someone to help them put some structure on this and put some focus on it. And seriously speaking, that's what they have to do. You're not waking up beating people that's been dreaming about this thing all the while. That's the difference. That's why Jaden Daniels playing so good. He's visualizing it all day, all night. That's what the Cowboys should be doing.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.